And every data point and every economic metric does in fact show that the economy is improving. And so I do wish more people would report on those facts. I do wish that more people would remind the American public how we got here and why. It does not mean this president is discarding the feelings of the American people. He gets it better than anyone.
You're a liar.
If you get away from tariffs, inflation is in the low twos, right? So it's really tariffs that's causing most of the inflation overshoot.
We know who is responsible.
Greetings, my BPPN family. Welcome to Black People Politics Network. I'm Mr. Red. You just heard him. The economists, the Fed, the so-called experts, all trying to spin the same recycled lie. The economy is improving. But nothing they said in those clips matches reality. Not your reality, not my reality, not this country's reality. When Jerome Powell is cutting rates this aggressively, when inflation is still being driven by tariffs, when affordability keeps getting worse month after month, you can't tell me with straight face that things are getting better. Tonight, I'm going to prove you that Trump's latest lie, his claim that affordability is a hoax, is the real hoax. And we're not stopping there because the cracks in the country are showing everywhere. Miami just turned blue in a way that should terrify Republicans. Indiana rejected a gerrymandered map even after Trump threatened them personally. Senate Democrats caved to reopen the government and got nothing. Now healthcare subsidies are gone. And one of Trump's own representatives just got exposed on live TV lying about Antifa. So no, this isn't just another economy video. This is the full picture, the real picture. And by the end of tonight, you're going to see exactly why this country is heading into a political and economic storm most people aren't prepared for. We have much to discuss. Let's strap in. Let's get after it.
2.9. Look at that. Our prices are coming down. Their prices, it's a hoax. They're just, remember they said the Inflation Reduction Act, remember that? Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, the inflation, and after they got it approved, because we had a few Republicans that went along with that whole hoax.
Don't listen to the woke left. Come here. Who cares what your bank account says? Go to your nearest grocery store, get a cart, fill that cart up with everything that you need and you want, go to the checkout line, and when your card gets declined and the cashier says you can't afford this, tell them that affordability is just a Democratic hoax and walk out that store with your basket. I guarantee you nothing will happen to you. Don't let the woke trick you.
That's terrible advice.
Would you do Doge again knowing what you know now?
I mean, the thing is, like, I think instead of doing Doge, I would have basically built, worked on my companies essentially. So, and the cars, they wouldn't have been burning the cars.
Shut your mouth and your fat ass, boy.
This man really got up on stage in front of thousands of struggling Americans and told them that affordability is a hoax, that inflation isn't real, that the pain they're feeling in their wallets, at the grocery store, at the gas pump, is all in their heads. Meanwhile, rent is up, groceries are up, utilities are up, insurance is up, interest rates are up. Every single metric that defines real life, not that billionaire life, is all moving in the wrong direction. But Trump wants you to believe that you're imagining it, that it's not real, that it's not true. And then we got Elon, the king of overpromising and underdelivering, sitting there telling the world the coffers will be full. Waste and fraud will pay for everything. Funny thing is, the only waste, fraud, and abuse that's been found so far is coming from Trump and his people. Billions stolen, grift on top of grift, government position used as personal ATMs, and Elon regrets leading Doge? Brother, he regrets tanking his own reputation. He regrets nobody trusting him anymore. He regrets that people now see him for who he is, a billionaire who plays with public money and public data like toys. And let's be real, if the government ever did a full investigation into him, he'd be right there next to Trump in a jumpsuit. The only hoax is the one that they're trying to sell you and try to sell me.
Miami was a Republican stronghold in 2017 when most precincts voted more than 80% for the Republican candidate for mayor. But what happened in yesterday's election? Let's compare. Wow.
This was just such a big shift to the Democrats. I mean, Kamala Harris won Miami, but just by a point. There was a huge shift towards Donald Trump. This was in Miami, Joe Biden had carried Miami by nearly 20 points, and Harris only won it by 1. And all of a sudden, look at this. It's a 19-point win for Higgins. That is an 18-point shift in just a year's time. Yeah. And of course, it is just the latest shift that we're seeing. That is what I think is so important going on here. We've seen it in special elections. We saw it in Virginia Gov. We saw it in New Jersey Gov. We have seen it across the political map, whereby over and over and over again, the baseline from 2024, Democrats are consistently outperforming it 10, 15, nearly 20 points in this case.
Well, that's great news, isn't it?
Despite all of Donald Trump's threats, the Indiana State Senate has just rejected the Trump-backed 9-0 gerrymandered maps. Instead, they are leaving in place the current maps, which are 7 Republican seats and 2 Democratic seats. And the crazy part, this was not even close at all. As reporter Nikki Kelly notes, the bill was soundly defeated by a vote of 31-19. As you probably know, Trump and his allies really acted like the mob here in this pressure campaign against Indiana Republicans. We saw bomb threats at Republican lawmakers' homes in Indiana. We saw death threats against these lawmakers. We saw threats like this from Donald Trump, which Heritage Action was bragging about, saying that if the Indiana State Senate failed to pass the map, Donald Trump would remove all federal funding from the state. That means roads would not be paved, guards bases would close, major projects would stop. These are the stakes, and every no vote will be to blame. These are the kinds of things that Republicans were saying to the Indiana Republicans.
Now let's talk about something that mainstream media isn't telling you loudly enough. Miami, it turned blue. Not just a little bit, but by a lot. This isn't a blue wave. This isn't a ripple. This is a blue tsunami hitting the places Republicans were bragging about just 2 years ago. In Miami, imagine what's happening quietly in the suburbs and cities across the country. Then you've got Indiana Republicans, deep red, MAGA-leaning Indiana Republicans rejecting Trump's gerrymandered maps. Even after Trump threatened them, even after extremists threatened their families, they still said no. You know why? Because they see the writing on the wall. They see the legal chaos. They see the economic collapse. They see the voters turning. When Republicans stop listening to Trump out of fear of their own survival, that tells you everything you need to know. The grip is slipping. The machine is cracking. The storm, it's coming.
We have some major news right now. The United States Senate has just rejected the healthcare bills put forth by Democrats and Republicans to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies, all but guaranteeing that ACA subsidies will expire at the end of the year. Premiums will go up, millions will go uninsured. Republicans in the House of Representatives and in the United States Senate right now don't have a cohesive plan on how to protect and fix healthcare. Remember back when the government shutdown ended, that we got a promise of a vote? Democrats got a promise of a vote to extend ACA subsidies? Well, this was the promise of the vote.
Face it, Mike, you got played.
I'm done with the senators sitting around doing nothing while Trump takes your hard-earned money, skims your Social Security, slashes Medicare, and gives tax breaks to billionaires. I'm done. I'm done watching the American dream on life support while Trump tries to pull the plug. The gloves have been off, and now I'm jumping into the ring. I'm asking for your support to be the next United States Senator from the greatest state of Texas.
Now this one right here should make every American angry. Senate Democrats helped reopen the government, okay? They crossed the aisle. They compromised. They gave Republicans what they wanted. And what did they get in return? Nothing. They were promised a vote on health care. They got the vote. And the health care bill was rejected today, immediately. So what happens now? ACA subsidies are going to be gone. People are going to lose their coverage. Families are going to go bankrupt. People will get sick. And yes, some people are going to die because Republicans have no health care plan. I dare you to find a good plan that a Republican has even proposed or asked. Not even Trump himself has a plan, even after all these years of running for office. They never had a plan. They have no intentions of creating a plan. And they don't need one because they got government health care, all of them. They got specialists. They got premium coverage. They got the best care your tax dollars can buy. And you know why you don't have it? Racism. That is exactly right. We don't have universal health care because somebody's worried about someone else getting something that they would have. This is why we need people like Jasmine Crockett in the Senate. People who don't fold, don't compromise with fascists, and don't sell working class out for a committee seat. This is why today's community post matters. Corporate Democrats must go.
Executive Board of Domestic Terrorist Organization, Antifa. That's our primary concern right now.
All right, that's what President Trump did. What did the FBI say?
We share the same view. When you look at the data right now, you look at the domestic terrorist threat that we're facing. Right now, what I see from my position is that's the most immediate violent threat that we're facing on the domestic side.
That's a lie. So where is Antifa headquartered?
What we're doing right now with the organization.
Where in the United States does Antifa exist? If it's a terrorist organization and you've identified it as number one.
We are building out the infrastructure right now.
So what does that mean? We're trying to get the information. You say Antifa is a terrorist organization. Tell us as a committee, how did you come to that? Where do they exist? How many members do they have in the United States as of right now?
Well, that's very fluid. It's ongoing for us to understand that. The same, no different than Al-Qaeda and ISIS.
No, I don't want you. I'll ask one question, sir. I just want you to tell us. If you said Antifa is the number one domestic terrorist organization operating in the United States, I just need to know where they are, how many people. I don't want a name. I don't want anything like that. Just how many people have you identified with the FBI that Antifa is made of?
Well, the investigations are active.
Sir, you wouldn't come to this committee and say something you can't prove. I know you wouldn't do that.
Yes, he would.
And for our final story, let's talk about the clown show that just played out when Michael Glasheen, one of Trump's guys, got exposed talking about Antifa up there on Capitol Hill. This man said Antifa is one of America's biggest threats. Okay, cool. But I got a question. Where are they stationed? He didn't know. How many people are in it? He didn't know. Who leads it? He didn't know. What cities do they operate in? Guess what? He didn't know. You know why? Because there is no organized Antifa. It's not a structured group. It's not an agency. It's not a militia. But you know what is real? Groups with 3-letter names that start with a K. White nationalist militias, far-right extremists committing, offing people. Domestic terrorism carried out by MAGA-aligned individual, but that never seems to bother them. Antifa is nothing more than a political boogeyman, a propaganda tool designed to justify crackdowns on dissent, an excuse to target anyone who stands against fascism, which should be everyone. This is 1930s playbook stuff. This is authoritarian conditioning, and this is how the mustache man rose to power. And we're not letting it happen today, tomorrow, or ever. Stay vigilant, stay engaged, stay revolutionary.